You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. All right, so we are actually going to go through calls from the longest ago to most recent because I think it'd be kind of fun to go through this game. Usually on a loss, it's like, screw that, I'm not doing that. On a win, we're definitely going through it. But I'm I guess partially curious, and then also just freaking why not? I don't see this necessarily as a loss, and I'm also just curious on perspectives and whatnot. So, we got two pregame calls. Let's do it. Let's just do it all. What's up, Packer Superfan? By the way, Packer Superfan, thank you for jumping in on the Patreon live stream with me and Cullen. Really appreciate you doing that, brother man.
Good morning, Ryan. Mike Hebring, a.k.a. Packer Superfan. Hey, Ryan, just sitting down to get ready for the game here. We're about 20 minutes from kickoff here. I see the inactives are out. No real surprises there other than the fact that Christian Watson is not on that list, I guess. And then I also saw a tweet that it looks like it's going to be all backups today, basically, because it looks like the offensive line is complete backups. The only starter that's going to be playing in their starting position is the right guard. The right guard. So hopefully they won't be playing any. Watson shouldn't be playing behind that offensive line. I sure as hell don't want to see Matthew Golden out there either. There's no sense in putting him at risk in this game and getting him hurt and having to just rehab something through the off season. So be interesting to see how it goes. Obviously this is a give up game, so I'm anticipating the Vikings are going to trounce the Packers here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and I didn't bring it up. It is kind of interesting that, we did see a little Reed in there. We did not see Watson. So I've said that they're not going to they're going to try not to sort of proclaim, this is our number one and this is our number two and this is how much we like you more than this guy and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like in that regard they did. Maybe, again, they played it off as, well, he's kind of dinged up or he's got this or that or whatever. I don't know. But that was kind of interesting. As far as Golden, obviously they did play him. I think partially because, again, we kind of acknowledge he's our number 4, even though, from your perspective, my perspective, most of the fan perspective, we'd like him to be closer to a number 1. But I think at least for this season, that ship has sailed. I understand not wanting to get him hurt for next year, but we've already talked about this, you and I, but I'm just kind of going through my thought process for everybody else. I don't think it was ever going to be a thing that they would hold him out. As far as, what else were you talking about? Well, yeah, the game itself, you expected correctly. That was going to be a trouncing. So I think we all kind of knew that was coming. But again, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's up, Ryan? It's Arlette.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, man. We need a backup quarterback. When Malik's gone, we need somebody. This guy, oh, wow, look at that. Who's that, Brooks? Finally got a decent looking run. Yeah, man, this guy's not it. And I know this game doesn't matter, but goodness. Negative passing yards, man. So I'm hoping Goody it could be this Desmond Ridder guy, from Atlanta. But I'm hoping they can do what they did with Malik, find somebody from the first round that's kind of washed up and, see if you can put some retread, some new tread on that tire. I'm pretty sure that's the plan because this guy cannot be the answer for next year's backup. That and just tackling. I didn't watch the whole game because, well, I'm sure you didn't either. But when I was watching, I saw so many missed opportunities to get tackles for loss. But Packers it's like what you said on the show this morning, just playing fast but not doing anything. Running past the running back, running past the quarterback in the pocket. Just so many opportunities, man. It's crazy. So none of this really matters, man. But I kind of feel like after this performance, man, the Packers really got to show up next week, man. I mean, even if they don't win, they got to look like, it's got to be like a 3-point loss if we don't win. Like, it's got to look like we were supposed to be there, because I would hate for the season to close out on this kind of a note, man, regardless of all the injuries. This is just in poor taste, man. But, all right, I got to go ahead to Sherwin-Williams, pick up some stuff. I should have done this during the game, but I'm a fan, and I couldn't leave the house. I kept checking in. Now there's like 2 minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and get it done. But I'll talk to you, man. Peace out.
Forgot it was a noon game, so that's definitely not a pregame call. But yeah, I mean, again, I think that is kind of the expectation. And you're right that I don't care what happened in this game. I'm not that interested. There are a couple things I was interested. I already talked about those things. But next week, I mean, that obviously is no longer the case. And I do think it matters in a much bigger scale. Because these are the questions we have. I think too many people are reaching for answers in this game about effort and how much you care and how much that the playoff game is the ultimate. There will never be any excuse that is acceptable in a playoff game ever. So, that's the game we're going to be watching. All of us are going to be watching closely. Obviously, the expectation is win, but if we don't win, and even if we do, there's going to be a keen eye on who showed up, who didn't, and also as far as the coaching staff is concerned, as a general rule, did you have the more disciplined team? Did you have the team with the most effort and all that? And I mean, it's an individual thing, but you can see things in total. You know what a team looks like when they're playing with their hair on fire. That doesn't mean everybody. There might be one guy who's out there missing tackles and looking stupid in a bigger picture game where most guys are actually looking real good. And vice versa. I mean, you can have bullcrap games with, some guys who are actually playing pretty good football. So that's going to be all eyes on that. But hopefully it's not in a negative way. Hopefully we end up winning this game. Hopefully I am happy that we played the Bears because they are the lesser of the two teams, which is kind of hard to tell at this point with, especially Philly losing to Washington. They didn't have their quarterback, so I can't be super hard on them, I guess. But it's the matchup we should want, and it's a matchup we should win. I mean, it just is, and it's one of those things where I said from a betting standpoint, I mean, if the line is heavy on the Packers, I'm going to be probably betting on the Bears. But there's also an opportunity here to bet on the Packers, and I'm very tempted to hedge bet, but I'm also tempted to bet Packers just because I think there can be overreaction. I think in the subconscious of people, you watch what the Packers have done recently, especially very recently in this game against Minnesota. Even though they weren't playing their starters, it's still an ugly thing to have to watch. And that's going to stick in your mind. And there may be a little bit more recency bias and a, I don't know that the Packers are better, but I think you can make the case that the Packers are still the better team. And it should be with being in Chicago no more than a pick. So I don't know. We'll have to just obviously spend more time going back and digging into all that and whatnot. But again, the days of, oh, shucks, it doesn't matter, it's just we're just out here having fun, those days are obviously over. So it is absolutely game time. This is the time when people say, okay, Rashaan, you have not got a sack since like week 8. It's the postseason. If you want to stay on this team, I need you to rise up. Van Ness, bro, I mean, I'm happy for you. You're making strides and all that. You're also a mid-first round pick, okay? So I wouldn't be mad if you jumped from like decent to elite. You know what I mean? Like, do you ever want to get that Rashaan contract? Or are you just going to be like, kind of okay. Jordan, especially. We need to see some Aaron Rodgers put the team on your back type of stuff. We have to have that. If we lose, it's not because of you. It's because your defense or special teams let you down. But you were in there and you got it done. Stuff like that. If you got the big money, we have higher expectations for you. There are other guys that fill roles. And if we lose because frickin', I don't know, some undrafted free agent misses a tackle, yeah, that sucks on him, but why are we in a position for him to win us the game? Should not be that way. Kyle from Madison, what's going on?
Ryan, how's it going, man? Kyle from Madison. Well, so that game happened, allegedly. Look, there's not a ton to talk about here. I just wanted to say I'm actually proud of LaFleur on this one. I'm sure it hurts even more than a fan, for a coach to just have to sit there and watch like fourth and fifth string guys just not get it done all game. But at least he's learned his lessons from last year and really didn't give a F about that game.
Sure.
But that being said, I'm also proud of him because at the end of the game, he didn't just take the donut. He was like, nah, we're not going to take a shutout against these guys. And
right.
He trotted McManus out there. That made me happy. If he would have just run that clock out and taken the 0, it just wouldn't. I wasn't down with that.
No, same.
And if you're a Vikings fan, man, I don't know how you feel about that. My brother's at that game. He said it was the weirdest vibe because some people were celebrating the Super Bowl, and a lot of people were just like, yeah,
right.
This isn't good. You get your, I don't even know what you think if you're a Vikings fan. Thank God I'm not, but I mean, you hung, 16? You won by 13.
I mean, you offensively and defensively. I know it was basically a shutout, but how, considering we have a quarterback that could not throw, so we can't pass, just take passing away. How could we run the ball so effectively on you? I think if LaFleur had just committed to the run entirely, there's a good chance we score more. I'm not saying win the game, but I mean, that was horrible. That was, like I've said before, that was one of our best rushing performances, just on a play-to-play, holy crap, he got 8-10 yards on that play. What the heck was that? It was actually kind of impressive. And this is supposed to be the elite defense, and then offensively, give me a break. We should not have gotten any stops. Every time I look up and they're punting, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? How are you punting? I don't even understand. That was terrible.
And really hard against a team that, as big a fan as I am, I literally didn't know most of the guys out there.
Right.
I'm actually impressed at how few guys I knew out there. Considering your roster constraints, I am actually shocked that I just didn't know almost everybody out there.
Yep.
Which is great.
It was funny doing the live stream, and my son was here, and I was like, "Oh, tackle by," and then neither of us recognized the number. So I've got the our lads depth chart up. So I go and find the number. I'm like, "Oh, tackle by Shamar Bartholomew," and Colin's just like, "I don't know who that is," and I'm like, "I don't either, dude." I know I've talked about him a little bit on the podcast, but I don't. We as Packer fans, we don't know that guy.
When I heard Jaden Reed was going in that game, I'm flipped out. When they kept showing Love with his helmet, I guess he was probably the backup quarterback. I'm thinking, absolutely not. If Thune goes down or Tune or whatever his name is, I'm running Wildcat the rest of the freaking game. There's no chance where I'm putting Jordan Love, and they kept showing him. I'm like, no. Take your helmet off.
And Jordan put his helmet on. He's pacing back and forth. I'm like, sit down. Go away. You're making me nervous, dude.
Jordan. We'll have to see what happened to Melton. It's what they say, it was a knee. You probably know by now, but I really would prefer to not have lost another person to a freaking knee injury this week. But all in all, I mean, it makes you appreciate both our other quarterbacks a lot. And I'm sitting here rooting for the Colts because I think it'd be great if the Vikings got knocked down another draft position or two because of this. It'd just kind of be the cherry on top. So On to the playoffs. I don't know who I'm rooting against, the Lions or the Bears. I really don't know, but it's on to the playoffs and start that phase of the season. Let's go Pack.
Yeah, I was rooting for the Lions, and I think in hindsight that was probably the right thing to do, considering Philly won anyway. Having the Bears lose and go on a losing streak coming into the game against us, and they should have lost against us too. That was just a historic, ridiculous collapse on our part in a game in which we dominated the entire freaking thing, which is simultaneously something the Packers are famous for and the Bears are famous for, so we should have all seen it coming. It also sucks about the Bears because we're going to play them, and first of all, if we're not dominating through the first three quarters, I'm going to be panicked. But either way, that fourth quarter is going to come around the corner, and I'm just going to have a heart attack because even if we're up by, we need a big lead because they just have this weird freaking thing. They come roaring back and are like the best team in football in the fourth quarter. It drives me absolutely insane. Fortunately, the last 2 weeks, they did it the last 2 weeks in a row and lost both of them. But they had momentum going so hard, I could have swore I would have lost a lot of money betting on the Bears in both of those games. So hopefully it's not a thing. Hopefully we get in there, and I think we just got to remember who we are, man. You got to remember who you are as Green Bay Packers. I know you don't have your star defensive player. I get that. I don't give a damn. Rashaan Gary, Lucas Van Ness, I mean, heck, Baron Sorrell look good. I mean, we got some dudes, man. We got some guys in Igbare and Brenton Cox, assuming he's okay. You know, we got some guys that can play some football, man. So we gotta make some stuff happen. We gotta remember who the heck we are, and we gotta remember that we are the better team. Go into Chicago and win this series that is now tied, that shouldn't be tied. Because I can't stomach. I mean, listen, it is the absolute worst day of the year, the final day. You know, it's hard because it's depressing and it's sad and you know the season's over and it's horrible. But then also for the podcast, I have people call in and say they're checking out. I'll catch you, you know, in the next season, and it's just sad. It's like, it's not just that the season's over. Everything's over. You guys all leave, like, not all, obviously. A lot of you guys stick around, but it's like everybody just kind of, everybody's upset. Everybody wants to check out, and everybody just leaves. And I have to do a better job of getting you guys excited about the offseason, I guess. But it is a brutal thing. Add on top of that, it's the Bears that knock us out, and we send them on to the next round. Like, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to handle that. So, look, if you want to tell me we're not going to the Super Bowl or we're not going to win the Super Bowl, but we're going to beat the Bears, I'll tell you right now today, I'll be happy with that. All right? I will. Not as happy. And if we win, I'm going to start getting all kinds of crazy confidence about how good we actually might be, and maybe this is our and going back through the whole destiny thing. Oh, remember, they're 27 years old, and we're doing the whole thing, believe me. But that is the bargain I will make right now with whatever football deities are floating around up there. Do not let us lose to the freaking Bears. Not doing it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Ryan, how the heck are you?
What up?
This is Nico from Idaho. We just got off your live stream.
Appreciate you too, dude.
For all of you who weren't there, lame.
Right.
It was very entertaining.
Thank you.
Had a lot of fun saying dumb things. It's my deal.
It is a little bit difficult, and that's why I appreciate you guys. It can be a little difficult when there's, especially commercials and stuff. You always feel like you have to say something, and sometimes there's not much to say. And obviously, as you can probably tell, Cullen he's trying to like get in the groove of like saying stuff, and he doesn't always know what to say, but he's getting there. I'm still getting there. I don't know what to do either. But you guys help out a lot with all the comments and whatnot. So just whatever it is, just keep those things coming. And hopefully every week it'll be growing, even though we might just have one more week. But we'll be doing a lot of draft streams and everything else. I don't think I've mentioned it. Maybe I did. I don't know. I showed everybody on the live stream the thing that I was unveiling. The thing that we're going to be doing is group mock drafts. Because what I built on my website that I've already got is the ability not just to do mock drafts, but group mock drafts. So one person could be the Packers, one person could be the Chiefs, one person could be the Texans, whatever, and we can all join in and do a mock, and there'll be a chat, and we'll be able to do trades and all that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff we're going to be doing, and if you're part of the Patreon, you can join in on those, and then I'll probably do the final product. Will just be put on YouTube. But the plan, anyways, is to keep this stuff alive, and I'm hoping you guys will stick with us.
It's my fourth day in life, but oh, sorry about that. I hit my frickin' windchime.
Damn you.
So yeah, hey, you know what? It's a very interesting game. Just can't wait till next week. Like I mentioned in the thing, Caleb Williams needs 270 yards to reach 4,000 yards. I hope he gets about 269. And even if he does get 4,000 yards this year, because, you know, that's been a thing for Bears fans. By the way, Bears fans have become Lions fans last year.
Instantly.
It's funny how that works. It's like a pendulum swings, you know, it's the yin and yang. One fan base sucks. They shut up. The other fan base wins more, and they just won't shut up. So, but if Williams does crest that 4,000 mark, which is a big thing for them because no quarterback's ever done it, all you got to do is say, well, yeah, it took the NFL to change their schedule and give you an extra game to do it. You guys still suck. So Bears still suck. And, yeah, they've had like a season of luck. And I think kind of like, you know, the Vikings last year, although they had a better quarterback, you know, especially last year. By the way, McCarthy sucks. I'm sorry, but he's just, unless he can work his accuracy stuff out and his dumbness in his brain, he's not him. The only, you know, the whole thing where he says when 9 comes out, the only 9 I hear is I used to play an old shooting game called Enemy Territory, and it was Germans and Americans, and the Germans were always go 9. So that's all I think about when he says 9. Yeah, but I don't think we lost anyone super important today. I know Bo Melton got hurt, but yeah, I could do. I'm not as enthralled with Bo Melton as I have been in the past. Anyways, forgot what I was saying.
It's all right.
I just turned my griddle on.
Yes.
I'm going to do a big lunch breakfast thing here. My wife got some place here in town. They do it's a loaf of bread that's basically a big loaf of cinnamon roll, you know? Mm. It's so heavy. The thing weighs like 10 pounds, and I'm going to cut it up and make French toast with it. Ooh, it's going to be so good.
But part 2.
But I just hope. Obviously, I don't want the Bears.
I love that you pick up right where you left. But
do good today. As far as who we play in the playoffs, at the very end of the game, even though I wasn't really listening to the announcers, I did hear one of the guys say that if it's the Eagles or the Bears, he thinks the Packers would do better against the Bears because really we beat them 1.9 times this year. You know, the last one we lost. A lot of injuries and stuff happened. I think Jordan got knocked out, and there's this mental block against Philly, which we could either break that mental block, or I think we would have a better chance beating the Bears. However, the downfall is if we lose to the Bears, it would suck way worse. So I'm kind of torn. I mean, what I think doesn't really affect the outcome anyways, because whether or not I want to play the Eagles and we're going to play the Bears, it's what it is. I mean, I guess you could say I would rather beat the Bears and lose the next week than lose to the Eagles. But I don't know. That's kind of a dumb thing to say, which is also my deal. I like to say dumb things.
That's right.
What the heck? Sorry, there was a piece of dog poop on my balcony. I'm like, my son moved out with his dog. I'm like, how long has that been sitting there? I don't know. I didn't see it yesterday. But I don't know. I guess just go Pack go. I'm gonna clean off my little griddle here, as she warms up. And smack that thick cinnamon bread on here, that thick cut bacon, and some sausage, and see how that tastes. And now let's go. Bada bing.
Yeah, that was kind of another realization that I had come to, is how hard of a time we've been having with the Eagles. You're probably right that it's the better option for us is going to be playing Chicago. The Eagles are probably a better team than Chicago, and I think our familiarity and whatnot give us a better shot. It gives them a little bit better shot too, but it kind of levels the playing field maybe a little bit more than playing a team that seems to just, for whatever reason, have our freaking number. I don't know if it's just the physicality aspect or what exactly it is, but sometimes there's just those matchups. You know what I mean? There's just those matchups where one coaching style or play style or whatever it is kind of seems to dominate the other. And I don't think the Bears have that over us. Again, they should not have won any games against us. They keep doing it, but it should not happen because we've been the better team, I think, every time we've played them. And that's what I'm banking on, is being the better team and that carrying us to victory. Because usually, not always, but usually being the better team is a good thing. And it means you win the game. At least that's what should freaking happen. I don't know. What do I know about football and stuff? Beer Cheese Benny, what you got going on?
Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny.
Up,
game is over. Packers lose. But I don't really care. I mean, I know I wanted our starters to play a little bit, and they should have played a little bit. They should play like a drive or two. Now we're going to go in the playoffs with rust. But nobody was hurt really other than Bullard, which was stupid. I mean, if you weren't going to play your starters, I don't know why you even played him anyways. I guess they have to have a body somewhere there in the 11 then. But anyways, we should be compensated for having to watch that. That was horrible. Honestly, hated watching it because
I didn't pay anything, but I want my money back.
You know, I love the Packers, and it's just like it felt like a chore. I was watching, like, all right, here we go. But I tell you what, man, Baron Sorrell and Collin Auver are awesome, dude. And we need to get them more snaps. And the only way we can do that is if we take out Rashaan Gary, man. Get those guys more snaps. Sorrell made more plays in one game than Gary has the last 4 or 5 games. I mean, seriously. And Collin Auver, he just gets to the ball. He gets to the other side of it. I saw him getting from one side of the field to the other, like getting the tackles. And, like, he's quick off the edge. I love it. I love it. And honestly, if we consider that was the Vikings' first stringers on offense versus us, and, like, we held them to that, that's pretty good, man. I know the Vikings aren't a great offense or anything, but still, gives me good confidence in some of our depth. I think Simpson is a bum. That 38, number 38.
Didn't go great for him. That's true.
But overall, I mean, just sucked watching our offense just run. And Clayton Tune can't do anything. Would have loved to see, push the ball downfield a little bit, but I guess our blocking sucked, which also another thing is further proves how bad our O-line is because our depth, it's like when one guy goes down, we're screwed. We're really screwed. But it's time for the playoffs, man. Hopefully resting these starters was a big help, but Love has not played in like a month or like a couple weeks. I mean, I just don't like that. He should have at least played a drive, man. Got to get in rhythm, but hopefully Bears, they exert so much energy that we are so well rested that we're just fresh and able to be that. I don't know if we're playing the Bears or the Eagles. It doesn't really matter at this point. Let's go on a run, guys. Come on. Let's believe in this team, okay? Because it could all be over, and then we're talking about draft picks. I don't want to do that yet. All right? Go, Pack, go to the mother Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I know you had asked me about the whole rust factor. I did look into it a little bit. I haven't fully looked into it, but I kind of got the cliff notes so far, and it's mostly fake. The rust thing. It's a thing people talk about, but as far as the data is concerned, with some caveats, and maybe the Jordan Love thing could be a problem, but for the most part, sitting guys in the final week is there is no statistical variance. There's no difference from teams that sit in the final week and teams that don't. So it's really not. It's a wives' tale thing. It's fake.
Hey, Ryan, Steve up in Alaska. Figured I'd call in. I haven't called in for the last few weeks because we were in the playoffs and we weren't looking like we were going to win games. What's the point of calling the local about stuff that just wasn't happy or good anyway?
Yeah.
But figured I'd call in after this game, even though it was itself a loss. Don't like the whole backing into the playoffs at all. Never a good thing. But, hey, man, there's a good possibility we're going to end up getting another shot at the Bears. Who knows? We can ruin their playoff run.
Be glorious.
It was a season started out with a lot of high hopes and expectations. I will admit I was one of them. Thought we'd do really well, but the injury bug, we just got hit with the injury bug in all the worst places. And, teams make mistakes, but we made a few boneheaded mistakes in a couple of games that cost us. But either way, we all get one more game to watch, at least one more game to watch. And that's what you want to see out of any season. You want to see the playoff game. And I know there's going to be people out there that are going to say, hey, we need to replace the coach. I don't see why. I don't think the failings in the season are his fault. And I think some of the successes that we had when we were in trouble are because we have the coach that we have. I do think we got to get a little bit better in the crunch times, end of half, end of games. There still needs to be some improvement there, but that a lot of that is the guys on the field have to do better. Not so much the coach. I mean, it's coaching, but you got to do your job out in the field. You can't play well, 90% of the game and then have the 10% you play bad be in the most critical times. But you know what? We'll just have to see what happens here in the playoffs. But I'm just saying I'm proud of the team. I'm happy with the team. For those who want to complain, we had another winning season and we got to the playoffs. And if you do that every single year, sooner or later you're going to break through and get one to pop your way. And if you don't, hey, you're in the playoffs every year. There's teams like Cleveland that if they make the playoffs once every 10 years, that's just like amazing for them. And we're not one of those teams. Hopefully we never get to be one of those teams. So let's all settle ourselves down, get ourselves all ready for the playoff game, and we'll see how it goes. All right, man. Take it easy. Happy New Year's to everybody.
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to identify issues than it is to identify causes. You know what I mean? It's easier to say, I saw people talking about this as far as Matt LaFleur and, something to the effect of like, he hasn't been good at getting the team to do this in these situations. And so it's like, okay, I can see what you mean as far as this situation ideally would have been better. But we don't know why, right? Part of the issue with a lot of this stuff is that there's never big sample sizes. The Packers, I don't know, they fell flat in 2 of the last 3 playoffs or something, or 3 of the last 3, I don't know. Okay, well, I mean, so many questions pop up in my mind. First of all, doesn't every team, except the one that won the Super Bowl, at some point fall flat? That's number one. So we'd have to kind of better define what you mean by fall flat and then try to figure out how to quantify that. But then the larger issue is who fell flat and why and how. Was it, because sometimes maybe that's not the case. Maybe it's not fall flat. Maybe it was I don't know, a certain guy got injured and that caused a big problem and this and that, or, there's a lot more work to be done to identify what the issue is. And I think that's the hard part. I mean, genuinely hard. I'm not just trying to obfuscate for the sake of saying you're not allowed to say anything. I'm just presenting how much of a challenge it actually is if we want to be serious about it. And I think it's difficult. It's very difficult. That's why I'm kind of slow to these things. I don't know. Just a thought. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
What's going on? So much matter. Oh Lord, I'm just also mad. Anyway, What's going on? It's Omar the firefighter, just giving a call. Funny thing about this game, funny and not funny. Funny part was that I almost forgot about this game this week because we didn't have no starters playing. I was like, all right, I'm going to watch it, but I was at work. I didn't take the day off because I was at work. So I'm working, and I was like, oh, man, I forgot the game's on. So I look, and then I see we, got negative passing yards. But I placed a bet as soon as I heard that our starters wasn't playing that we would lose by 13 to 16 points because I was like, that's probably what's going to happen because the way the QB looked last week. And when I cut the game on, I was like, oh, we're at negative passing yards. Like, all right, and we're down 13. It was like close to the third quarter, I think, and third quarter. And so before the game was over, I looked, and I placed it on, it was the bet MGM. And dang it, I placed the bet, and it didn't go through. Like, it had an error or whatever. Like I had to redo it. So so I didn't end up placing the bet. So I was pissed. I was like, man, I could have won $300. I'm like, it didn't end up going through. So then I was saying all right, hoping at least Golden get a touchdown. So I was like, they kept showing Golden, and I'm like, all right, let's give him a touchdown. And then, trying to make myself feel better. Or that we lose by more than 16. So I would have lost the bet either way. So that's what I'm hoping. And then we get, and it basically looked like we're going to lose. But I'm like, all right, we're moving the ball at the end. And then they, it's third and something. And they passed the ball. And they threw it away from Golden. I'm like, man, get this man a touchdown. Like, he a first-round pick. Get this man at least one touchdown for the season. And it was a terrible pass. And the QB just looked terrible. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So then I'm like, all right, it's okay. We got one more play. I don't care if he's double cover, triple cover, or just throw it to Golden. Like, get a touchdown. Or somebody get a touchdown. I ain't care. As long as I don't win this bet because basically it didn't go through. So then they just ran the ball on fourth down. I'm like, something like, if you're going to run the ball on fourth down and plus yardage, I'm like, why did you even throw it on third down? Get the line some more pass protection, try to get Golden. I was so pissed off about that. I don't know if I was mad about the bet or the fact that they didn't try to get this man a touchdown and the offensive line played like crap. So I don't know, but either way, it is what it is. Go back, girl. Talk to you later.
Yeah, the Golden thing is bothering a lot of people, ranging from, Packer superfan saying he shouldn't even be out there to he should be out there and he should be getting the ball chucked at him 24/7. I was telling Packer superfan real early, you're not going to have to worry about Golden because this guy can't throw, so he's not going to get hardly anything going. He was actually the most targeted guy, and he had, from what I could tell, 2 drops. I think he was officially called as 1. But it's like, people are so upset about it. And it's like, first of all, it's Clayton Tune, who's clearly bad. I mean, even for a third stringer, it's like I think we could do better, man. I'm sorry. And then beyond that, as best as I can tell, Golden wasn't doing well. I mean, everyone else is catching everything thrown at him, and Golden's the only guy dropping stuff. Not really. Daphne dropped one too, but I wasn't as worried about that situation. It would have been nice if he just had a big game, and it was kind of concerning because you look at it and it's like he should be running circles around everybody. He's the only, he's this elite talent on a group of guys that suck. He should be dominating everybody. And he ended up, I was making the joke, but I think it's kind of serious. I think he kind of looked like our number 2 wide receiver among this group behind whatever the guy's name was. The guy that had 3 names. And again, we keep putting it on like the coach or something. Like, why isn't he the coach is putting him out there. The coach is telling him to run routes. The quarterbacks are not throwing to him. The why is a question. And I know progression. Okay, well, everybody else in their progressions is getting thrown. And if you think that they're trying to bury him in this scenario, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, maybe they just hate him and they want to make him look bad. Maybe Matt LaFleur hates Gutekunst and he wants to make him look bad. I don't know. I don't know I don't know.
So I'm watching the Bears-Lions game. They just turned the ball over on downs, last play for the Bears at least, for the first half. And I know, I I believe Ben Johnson is a good coach. I think the reason why this team is doing good is mostly two things: luck, and Ben Johnson's coached them up good. He's probably had this team playing better than they are. This Caleb just looks like crap. Like that pass he did to Loveland where he kind of rolled out, almost got sacked twice, and threw it to the tight end. He got hit behind that was a hospital ball. That dude could have snapped his knee. You know, the guy that tackled it. You know, he should have just launched it out of bounds. But, you know, they have the ball. It's 4th and 2. There's about a minute left, and they have 3 timeouts. They don't call a timeout. So I'm thinking, well, then they're just going to not go for it. I mean, they could have kicked a field goal. They could have just went all the way down, called a timeout, kicked a field goal. But then they went for it, and when the play was over, there was only 23 seconds left. What a stupid end of the half coaching. It's like, if you're going to go for it, call a timeout. If you're not going to go for it, milk the clock, kick a field goal with about, 40 seconds left. What a dumb play. How come we never get these dumb plays when we play them? Seems like every time we've played, the Bears, every good luck thing flows their way.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, whatever. But anyways, I don't know if it matters if they win or lose, or if Philly wins or loses. I don't know if it's going to affect the standings. They haven't explained it to me yet. But just what a stupid end of the half decision to not call a timeout and go for it and waste 40 seconds. Now, it turns out he didn't catch the ball anyways. So in the long run, it's kind of better, for the Bears, but then they still give the ball back down. They should have kicked the field goal, taken the 3 points. I don't know, just stupid stuff. It's really good to see. It's kind of like when Caleb plays really good and then plays really bad. It's good to see. It's good to see their coach kind of is dumb sometimes. So let's see if the Lions can score with 25 seconds left. Peace out.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I think we're due. I think we paid our dues through the regular season of teams playing their best. They're playing their most disciplined games. The coaches aren't making as many stupid mistakes. The quarterback isn't playing like garbage like he has the last several weeks and like he probably will next week. It's just, come on, man. We're due for one. Give us one like really bad Caleb game and a coach who's just doing really stupid, weird stuff that doesn't work. Like the Lions with their stupid, idiotic, constant trick plays all the time.
All right, this is good. So let me talk a little smack about Tom Brady, because I typically don't listen to the announcers because they're stupid. But in the Lions possession earlier, when they're driving down and right before they scored that TD with the running back, they were running the ball, they were driving the ball good. And then Brady goes to start talking about how the Bears are bad because they can't put pressure on Goff. And lo and behold, while he's talking, they almost sack him. And you can see Brady paused his brain like, I'm going to say they're not giving good pressure while they just pressured him and almost, sacked him. And he didn't know how to back out of it. He didn't say, well, they got pressure that time, and make a joke of it. He just went, and he paused like 4 seconds and stammered. Sometimes ex-players can be good announcers, but most of the time they kind of suck. So, but hey, it is what it is. He's Tom Brady. He's a golden boy. We all know he made a deal with the devil, and it got him to where he's at. It even made him taller and look handsomer. But whatever. Hey, it's all good. I know the end. I know the end story with that contract. So anyways, I just wanted to talk smack about Brady. That's all. Because I don't hate the guy, but I hate the guy, if you know what I mean. So peace. Out.
Yeah. Speaking of debts coming due, that dude's got it coming, man. Because he has laid it on thick. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ryan, figured I'd call you again. I'm sitting here watching this Bears game, and heck, man, the way they're playing, it almost looks like they're playing so they don't have to meet us next week. I mean, they're just look god-awful, and they've been playing pretty well, and they just look god-awful. And the only advantage to them losing is they don't have to see us until the NFC Championship game if we both make it that far. Conspiracy, right? They're just trying to get away from us. They don't want to lose us again. They know they can't really beat us. That's all I really wanted to call. Oh, by the way, if they lose this game, remember how last year we only won one division game, and everybody talked about how in the division how bad we were, how much we suck. If they lose this game, they're really no better than us. They won 2 division games. I think they got one against us and one against Minnesota. So they suck in the division too. So whatever they said about us last year, we can turn around and say about them this year. They better pull their butts together and win this game so we can play them next week and kick their butts ourselves. All right, see ya.
Yeah, you hear that? You guys better pull your butts together. Steve said it, so better do it.
All right, it's Randy, Minnesota.
What's up?
Well, that sucked. I can't think of a game I was more uninterested in watching from Green Bay. Oh, my God. Anyway, long story short is I hope Bullard's okay. I don't know about Bo, but, yeah, God, it's just like a preseason game that the beer was sour. I'm sorry. It was terrible, but now we're on the playoffs. Thank God the Bears lost, but they still got the 2nd seed. I can't wait to play them. They are not that. They look like crap, and I'm really, really happy that we get them in the first round. I can't wait. I think the NFL needs to figure out this scheduling thing. A conference game should not be scheduled last week. It should be the second to the last week so people play their starters. I'm sorry. As a fan, I don't want to pay full price in stadium to watch a preseason game. I don't like paying full prices for preseason games. Anyway, that's just my little rant. I'm sorry. Then I saw something online that said, or I can't remember where I saw it, that if Kevin Stefanski gets fired, he's going to be the top coach candidate for Green Bay. Please, I like Stefanski. I think he's a great coach. I think would be great. I don't want to lose Matt LaFleur. I think Matt's done a great job concerning what he's had. And I just hope we rally. Oh, God, I'm babbling, and I apologize. But doggone it. It's a brand new season. We're 0-0. We're all the same. Let's start a run right now. Go Pack, go. And thanks, Ryan, for dealing with the 4-game losing streak. I appreciate you, man. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's definitely more fun when we're winning all the time, but such is life. There are Jets podcasters out there. There are Browns podcasters out there. You know, they endure. So just got to suck it up, golden boy. Yeah, interestingly enough, when I was doing the little bit of research on tanking, this all started. I don't know. Let's call it 2012-ish. The divisional games being week 18. Because so many teams were tanking. They did it because they wanted it to be a more meaningful game in hopes that more people would play their starters. And it actually did work. The numbers of teams that benched their starters plummeted. It was, whatever the percentage was, it was like a third of that or something. So, yeah, that's actually the reason. I mean, I had asked the question too, like when did this start? It feels like it's all the time, and I think the 20-teens sometime in there because it just became so common for teams to, bench him or whatever. Yeah, Stefanski, I believe, did get fired, and I did see that. He's not expected to be out for long. I'd have to look into it. I think I already did at one point. Stefanski is a very similar, it's not the same, but I think it's a very similar coaching tree to Matt LaFleur. So if you hire him, it's because you believe Stefanski's just a better coach. Because I think the scheme is going to end up being very similar. If you're trying to go in a new direction, I don't know that Stefanski provides that. And again, I don't anticipate, considering we did go to the playoffs, him getting fired, but if this is a bad performance, we at least got to talk about it. Again, as I think as Packer Superfan has brought up several times, if they didn't add that 7th seed to the playoffs, we would have missed the playoffs this year for I believe the 3rd year straight, missing the playoffs. And I do think that matters. I'm sure some people are, well, but they did add it. Yeah, but that means something. I mean, the fact that they added it doesn't make you a better coach all of a sudden, does it? It doesn't make sense to say you're a good coach, the last 3 years, but if we would have transplanted these exact years 10 years ago, you would have been fired for missing the playoffs 3 years in a row. So again, there needs to be a solid showing, I think, from Matt in this game. And from the players. I mean, again, some of this stuff is out of his control. Some of this stuff is just, you got young players and all that, and I'm sure that complicates things. But, on some level, some of this, you can say it's stupid all the time. I saw the Pete Carroll got fired, and I wanted to make the snarky comment of, they're just one good coach away from winning it all, Like, how is it his fault that everybody on that team freaking sucks? With the exception of like Max Crosby. But it is what it is, man. If you are a losing coach, if you have a losing tradition, then you're going to be fired. So I think it's a big game for Mr. LaFleur, and I do hope it goes well. I don't want to be stuck in the flux of, I guess we need a new coach, and again, that could go south real fast. All right, why don't we leave it at that? I'm going to get out of here. I think we haven't done a song in a long time. Been pressed for time a lot. I've got a little window here before I have to leave, but not enough time to do tomorrow's podcast. So just enough time to find a little ditty. All right. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Run it. Walk in the building like we own the lease. 100 years of history, we don't talk, we feast. They throw a party, put a banner on the wall. We show up Saturday and take it all. 17 times in the last 10 spins. They celebrate the battle, we collect the wins. Little brother energy is kinda cute, but when the lights come on, we stay on mute. Cause the scoreboard talking up. Cold in the city, but we brought the heat. Green in the wallet, gold underneath. They got the home field, we got the history. Every single January, same old story. 2010 walked in, took the crown. Same building, same result, shut it down. Now we're back in, honestly it's routine. Most lopsided rivalry you've ever seen. But go ahead, talk your talk. They don't. Same city, different outcome. Respect the commitment, though.